Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. When fans first met Amy Slaton on TLC's 1,000-Pound Sisters, she was a bubbly, funny, and deeply relatable woman who dreamed of living a better life. Alongside her sister Tammy, Amy's story became a symbol of hope, of how love, perseverance, and family could help overcome even the toughest challenges. But in recent months, fans have been forced to confront a darker side of Amy's story as reports of drug possession charges have surfaced. For someone who has shared so much of her life publicly, from her weight loss struggles to her marriage and motherhood, this latest revelation has left fans heartbroken. It's not just about the legal trouble itself. It's about what these charges might represent: unresolved pain, emotional trauma, and the pressures of fame that have quietly built up inside Amy over the years. This isn't just another celebrity scandal. It's a cautionary tale about how unhealed wounds, stress, and unresolved trauma can push even the most well-intentioned people toward destructive habits. And for Amy Slaton, it's becoming clear that she has problems she desperately needs to address before they destroy the progress she's made. From hope to heartbreak, Amy's emotional journey on TLC. When 1,000-Pound Sisters first premiered in 2020, it captured audiences with its honesty. Amy and Tammy Slaton were two sisters from Kentucky struggling with obesity, food addiction, and family drama. But more than anything, they were real. Amy, in particular, became a fan favorite because of her positive attitude, her love for her sister, and her determination to lose weight so she could start a family. Her dream came true when she underwent bariatric surgery, lost a significant amount of weight, and finally became a mother to her two sons, Gage and Glenn. Viewers saw her glow with pride as she held her babies, calling motherhood the best thing that's ever happened to me. But as fans have learned over time, happy endings don't always last. Behind the smiles and family milestones, there were signs that Amy's emotional state was beginning to crumble. A marriage falling apart. Amy's marriage to Michael Halterman began with promise but quickly showed cracks. Early in the show, she often referred to him as supportive, but viewers noticed tension, especially after the birth of their second son. Amy frequently expressed exhaustion and emotional strain, while Michael appeared disengaged, leaving her to juggle motherhood alone. By 2023, Amy had officially filed for divorce. The separation was messy, public, and emotionally draining. Fans watched Amy cry on camera as she tried to stay strong for her boys. The divorce became one of the most difficult chapters of her life. Losing the stability of marriage while raising two young children, all under the public eye, would challenge anyone's mental health. This period also marked a shift in her demeanor. Once joyful and goofy, Amy began appearing more withdrawn and easily agitated in her interviews. Friends, family, and fans grew concerned that she wasn't coping well and that stress might be leading her down a dangerous path. The shocking drug possession charge. So, when reports broke that Amy Slaton had been charged with drug possession, fans were stunned. For many, Amy had always seemed like the more grounded of the two sisters, the one who had gotten her life together. While the official details surrounding the case remain limited, the charge suggests that Amy may have turned to substances to numb the pain of her struggles, a decision that could have serious consequences for both her life and her family. The news immediately sparked speculation among fans and critics alike. Was Amy experimenting with drugs out of depression? Was she influenced by the people around her? Or was this a cry for help from someone who has been trying to manage too much for too long? Regardless of the reason, one thing became clear. Amy's smiling persona had been hiding something much deeper, a woman overwhelmed by stress, loneliness, and the pressure of public scrutiny. A pattern of emotional suppression. To understand how Amy reached this point, it's important to look at her history. From the very beginning, 1,000-Pound Sisters showcased not just Amy's physical transformation but also the emotional scars left from her childhood. Growing up poor in Dixon, Kentucky, Amy and Tammy faced ridicule, trauma, and neglect. Their relationship with food became a way to cope with pain, an emotional crutch that lasted well into adulthood. Even after Amy lost weight, the emotional habits didn't disappear. Food addiction may have been replaced by other coping mechanisms, perhaps emotional shopping, codependency, or now possibly substance use. Fans often underestimate how intense the psychological journey of reality TV fame can be. Amy didn't just lose weight, she lost an entire identity. For years, her weight defined her, her struggles made her famous, and her family drama drew millions of viewers. Once those elements began to fade, she might have been left wondering, who is Amy Slaton without the cameras, without Tammy's constant chaos, without her marriage? That kind of emptiness can be unbearable, and it often drives people toward destructive behavior. The pressure of reality TV fame. Reality TV has a dark underbelly that rarely gets discussed. Behind every edited episode are people whose personal lives are mined for drama and ratings. Amy's story was broadcast to millions, and every move she made was analyzed, from her parenting to her hygiene to her weight. She once confessed during an emotional moment that sometimes it feels like people just want to see me fail. That kind of pressure is brutal. When you're already struggling emotionally and financially, constant online judgment can push you to the edge. If Amy did turn to drugs, it may have been her way of escaping the pressure, even temporarily. But what begins as escape can quickly become addiction, especially for someone with a history of addictive behaviors. A mother's struggle. What makes Amy's situation particularly tragic is her role as a mother. She adores her sons. Anyone who's watched the show knows how much she loves them. Her entire motivation for losing weight was to become healthy enough to conceive and raise her children. But parenting while battling depression, fame, and legal issues can feel impossible. Being both a mom and a public figure means your mistakes are magnified. If Amy is struggling with addiction or mental health issues, it's not just her life at stake, it's also her children's future. Fans have voiced concern about whether Amy has the emotional and financial support she needs. Her sister Tammy, though now healthier and more stable than ever, can only offer so much. Their relationship, while strong, is also fragile and often dramatic. Amy needs more than family right now. She needs professional help, therapy, counseling, and perhaps rehabilitation if the drug allegations are true. Because what she's facing can't be fixed by love alone. The public reaction, sympathy, judgment, and confusion. When the news of Amy's charges spread online, fans were divided. Some expressed disappointment, saying they expected more from her. Others reacted with empathy, pointing out that Amy has been through a tremendous amount of emotional trauma in recent years. One fan wrote on Reddit, "Amy has been the backbone of that family for years. Everyone leans on her, it's no wonder she finally broke." Another commented, "People forget she's human. She's been filming nonstop, raising kids, going through a divorce, and dealing with Tammy. Maybe this is her way of crying for help." The public's response reflects how complex Amy's situation is. She's not a villain. She's a person struggling with real, human problems that many face in silence. The difference is that Amy's pain is being broadcast for the world to see. The shadow of Tammy's transformation. It's impossible to ignore how Tammy's recent transformation might have affected Amy emotionally. For years, Amy was the responsible sister, the one who had surgery, lost weight, got married, and had kids, while Tammy struggled with health crises. But the roles have now reversed. Tammy has become the success story of the family, losing over 400 pounds, finding love, and gaining independence. Amy, meanwhile, seems to have stalled emotionally and physically. Her weight loss has plateaued, her marriage ended, and now she's facing criminal charges. It's not that Amy resents Tammy's progress. She's openly proud of her sister, but such a dramatic shift can still create insecurity. When your identity for years has been the strong sister, watching your siblings surpass you can be psychologically jarring. Amy's current crisis might partly stem from this identity loss. She's been defined by caretaking for so long that she's forgotten how to take care of herself. understanding addiction and emotional coping. If Amy is indeed battling addiction, it's important to view it not as a moral failure but as a symptom of deeper pain. Addiction is rarely about pleasure. It's about relief. People who experience unresolved trauma, like childhood neglect, emotional abuse, or sudden fame, often develop unhealthy coping mechanisms. Drugs, alcohol, or food become tools to dull emotional noise. Amy has spent years trying to fix everyone else, her husband, her sister, her home life, without fully healing herself. Her coping mechanisms simply shifted from one outlet to another. And because fame often isolates rather than supports, she may not have had anyone she trusted enough to confide in. In that context, her alleged drug use becomes less about rebellion and more about exhaustion, a desperate attempt to quiet her pain. Tammy's role and family reactions. Tammy Slaton has reportedly been supportive of Amy during this turbulent time. Ironically, Tammy, once seen as the unstable one, has now become the voice of reason in the family. Tammy's journey through near-death experiences and rehabilitation might make her the best person to understand what Amy is going through. But it's also possible that Amy feels embarrassed or ashamed to lean on her sister, especially after spending years being Tammy's caretaker. Other family members like Amanda and Misty have also expressed concern. Amanda has always been the tough love sibling, the one who calls out problems directly. Insiders have suggested that Amanda wants Amy to get help before things spiral further. Their family dynamic has always been intense, and this crisis may either tear them apart or bring them closer than ever. The cost of ignoring mental health. One of the saddest aspects of Amy's situation is how preventable it might have been. Mental health support isn't easy to access, especially in rural Kentucky, and the stigma surrounding therapy in Southern culture can make it even harder. Amy has mentioned on the show that she struggles with anxiety and emotional eating, but she's never received consistent professional help. Reality TV doesn't make that easier. The production schedule, the contracts, and the constant pressure to perform can discourage stars from prioritizing therapy or recovery. Amy's mental health may have deteriorated quietly until it reached a breaking point. Her story serves as a painful reminder that weight loss alone doesn't fix everything. Without emotional healing, the same cycles of addiction and self-sabotage often return in new forms. The road to redemption. What Amy can do now. If there's one thing fans know about Amy Slaton, it's that she's resilient. She's fallen many times, and each time, she's gotten back up. Her path forward must begin with honesty. Acknowledging that she needs help is the first step. Whether it's therapy, addiction treatment, or support from her loved ones, Amy must commit to confronting her pain head-on. She also needs time away from the cameras. Fame has brought her both success and suffering, and a break from public exposure might allow her to heal privately. Many reality stars have taken sabbaticals to focus on mental health, and Amy deserves the same. Most importantly, she needs to forgive herself. Shame can trap people in destructive cycles, but self-forgiveness opens the door to healing. Amy has overcome seemingly impossible challenges before. She can do it again. The bigger picture. What fans can learn. Amy's story highlights a deeper truth about mental health, fame, and vulnerability. Society often celebrates transformation stories, the dramatic before and after moments, without realizing that healing is not linear. Losing weight, becoming a mother, or appearing on TV doesn't erase trauma. Real healing requires inner work, confronting pain, setting boundaries, and learning to live with self-compassion. Fans should see Amy's legal troubles not as a scandal but as a wake-up call, both for her and for others who suffer silently. Her mistakes do not define her. They expose the areas of her life that need nurturing and care. A second chance for Amy Slaton. Amy has always represented hope for people who feel stuck, those who believe change is impossible. But this new chapter is an opportunity for a different kind of growth, emotional, not physical. If she takes accountability and seeks help, Amy could emerge stronger than ever, not just as a reality star, but as a survivor who turned her pain into purpose. Her fans are ready to forgive, and many have voiced their support online, emphasizing that what matters most is her recovery, not her reputation. Amy Slaton's story isn't over. It's just taking a difficult turn. But as fans have seen time and again, she has the strength to turn her struggles into lessons and her mistakes into motivation. Healing starts with honesty. Amy Slaton's alleged drug possession charges may be shocking, but they don't erase the person she is: a loving mother, a devoted sister, and a woman who has spent her life fighting to be better. Her story reminds us that healing isn't about perfection. It's about progress, honesty, and the courage to face one's pain. Amy has faced down food addiction, heartbreak, and ridicule before. Now, she faces perhaps her greatest challenge yet, confronting her inner demons and rebuilding her life from the inside out. If she chooses recovery, reflection, and self-love, there's still a bright future waiting for her and her sons. Because in the end, 1,000 Pound Sisters was never just about losing weight. It was about finding strength, and Amy still has plenty of that left within her.